but that's because the hatchery went up.
Yeah.
You see, like this build was a very reactionary build by HyuN. If the hatchery hadn't gone up, for example, he could have just macroed behind it. If Drogo decided to go for a say one base all in, he could have just defended. There's just a lot of flexibility in HyuN's build, and that's why I like that type of build, right? It's because you can make different decisions based on the infinity possibilities that your opponent can of things that your opponent can do. So in this particular case, HyuN identified a way to make this work that I'm sure, and the more you do builds like that, the more familiar you are with the situations, and the more advantage that you gain from it. So really well done by HyuN in game number 1 here. A really well prepared build. Definitely not underestimating here the most recent DreamHack champion. Not trying to save his build orders for SOS or a later opponent. He's revealing his hand and taking this as seriously as he can. Going for a semi-quick pull, just being safe, HyuN is. So, oh, and he's forced onto it. That's why, because Drogo actually blocked the natural with a pylon. So well done by Drogo there.
And yeah, I mean, whose pick was this? It was probably, I'm not even gonna guess. Okay. But yeah, we see that third being taken instead. Pull going down. Double gateway. So this is 2 gate adept, I think.
Yep.
So this could essentially end very, very badly for HyuN, because the gas is, he went pull gas instead of gas pull. So there's not going to be any speedling. So it's,
I mean, it doesn't really matter because he didn't go for a 3 hatch. So he should have speed and time to deal with this. Now the big problem for HyuN, more than anything else, is that he's spread out, right? And there's no way that any queen from the main, for example, is gonna go help out his natural against this sort of push. And even links will have to be split perfectly between both bases. So he has to find a solution for the problem that adepts will be. Maybe a spine crawler at one of his mineral lines and the links at the other one. That something like that could work well. But we'll see.
Where would you prioritize the spine, in the main or the third?
Maybe at the third, because the links are more mobile and they can deal with the adepts a little bit better, where the spine is static defense. So because the third is going to be saturated later, there's going to be less drones to be picked off, and the spine can just cover the drones that are in that base, right? So that is if he does decide to go for a spine. He definitely has options to say.
Essentially, this is an all-in from Drogo? Oh, he's going Stargate.
No. It's just a regular opener, just a pressure opener. One that I really like, and something I have trouble with oftentimes, especially if I'm going for a 3 hatch before pull, which is kind of why it's weird to me that Drogo forced HyuN into an early pull. But at the same time, the early pull makes it so that HyuN has less economy to work with.
So every drone kill that he gets is that much more amplified.
Or every drone that he doesn't produce to deal with his attack even. You see there's already like so many links, and the queen was actually brought down from the main by HyuN. So he's using both queens at the third and or at the natural, and the links to defend the adepts if they shift out anywhere else. I wouldn't mind Drogo continuing to poke. I'm actually kind of surprised that he didn't go for more adepts, knowing that he would spread HyuN so thinly. Because with 4 adepts, for example, he could do a lot of damage and force out a lot more lanes. Yeah. Or even just kill drones and just not lose any adepts and phase out if he needs to. However, the Oracle is a brilliant tactic here, a really good maneuver by Drogo, because both queens are at the natural, and again, it's going to be so hard for HyuN to get back into the main. But HyuN manages to get inside the main of Drogo, and Drogo forced to kill the Oracle. Oh my god, this is huge. Can we look at HyuN's main for a second? Okay, there was actually already a spore in place, so it's not as big. HyuN was already expecting the Oracle follow-up. It's one of the more common follow-ups, but that could have spelled disaster for HyuN if he hadn't made the spore and hadn't run in the links. As it is, running in the links was a detriment because he already had the spore. So
now a lot of people would look at the situation and be like, okay, HyuN has 3 hatcheries and Drogo's just getting his natural up right now. Is this essentially like grim for Drogo since he didn't actually get that much damage done?
No, I don't think so. He has the Stargate tech. HyuN is just now getting the Roach Warren, and it's not like he has a huge worker lead. He's only 3 workers or 2 workers ahead, so the economies, despite the number of hatcheries, should be fairly similar. And we'll see what Drogo's able to accomplish.
I think he's gonna
here.
let those shades go by. The depths are gonna go into the main.
That's big.
Trap a queen too. That's really really
huge.
good micro.
That's huge. Really well done by Drogo. Like you said, trapping that queen. That queen should not have been there, by the way, and holding position on the oracles so that they can get rid of some more lings. So many adepts still being microed and finding ways and finding places without spore crawlers, but Drogo is now almost out of energy.
I think all those adepts, or most of them, are gonna go down at least.
Yeah.
Full wraparound, full surface area.
Just one is gonna, 2 are
3.
gonna survive. Okay, that's not too bad actually. He could just hold that choke if he wanted to. All in all, Drogo actually gains a worker lead from that altercation because he had to produce so many lings. So not a bad position for the DreamHack champion here.
Now with the Roach Warren out, does he go for Ravagers and try to push up the ramp? Oh wow, Drogo's taking Stir. I didn't even see that. So this might entice. Does HyuN scout it? I think he did scout the 3rd. So does he try to go for an attack now, or does he just try to drone up in the fin?
It's absolutely up to HyuN, believe it or not.
Okay. Okay, so we see a layer going down. What does that mean? Going to Spire, perhaps? Or, I mean, he's at a pretty low drone count.
I mean, he has a lot of options. So we'll see what he decides to do again. I ain't not HyuN. But we
so much
shall-
wrong with that set.
I ain't not HyuN.
You just made all those like English majors in college just cringe.
Hells yeah. So
But-
the oracles are gonna poke in, maybe try to find some drones at the gas. There's only 1 drone there though, and it was already at the gas. It might confuse Drogo a little bit, and a really nice queen pick
Oh,
off,
but
but
loses the
yeah.
Oracle.
loses an oracle.
Feels bad, man.
Feels terrible, man. But picks off another 2 drones, 10 kills on that oracle, mostly lings, but a couple of drones here and there. Drogo actually has a supply lead, which is something that you usually don't want as a Zerg player against a Protoss player that remains true throughout every expansion of StarCraft 2. Protoss units are normally a little bit more cost efficient. However, HyuN is going for a Hydra then, so most likely lurkers are going to be what we see from HyuN here. Taking a very quick 4th with good creep spread as well, and opening additional paths because the other, the area that
wow.
Drogo is attacking with an Immortal Limb by the looks of it, is very difficult to attack for Zerg because of force fields.
I mean, I don't know how, like, I think defending wise.
Great force fields by Drogo. Force fielding all of the queens, and that's fantastic. The Ravagers are not very strong units without any support. HyuN is making 11 roaches, and I think that's the wrong call. I would have much rather seen lings from HyuN, but I'm not even sure if he has ling speed. So that might be why he wouldn't make lings. He does have ling speed, so I'm not sure why he didn't make ling speed. If he had ling speed, those roaches that are in production would have been lings that are already out a while ago, and he wouldn't have had to pull those drones. The Ravagers could have done a lot more damage with the ling support that I think they would have with roaches, and also because most of the many of the units like the Immortals don't do anything to lings essentially.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, they trap them, but most importantly, they pop out faster and they get to the action faster. So I really like reinforcing with lings.
So,
But the king of roaches is obviously loyal to them.
and we see Hydra range and +1, so he's just gonna go for that old hot composition Roach Hydra with some Ravagers mixed in.
Not big on this. So Hydras are really good if your opponent is going for, say, Stalkers, right? They're reliable damage. But against the type of composition that Drogo is going for, he has a healthy number of roaches, but still, Drogo has a bunch of Immortals, which are going to help with the roaches. And if the charge lots or adepts ever get to hit the Hydras, then that's a little bit too much. So I usually, if you're going to go Hydras, usually it's because your opponent has, say, a Stargate and you need some anti-air, which Ravagers are not reliable anti-air. Or, if your opponent is going Blink Stalkers, you could consider Hydras over Ravagers just because they're reliable, consistent damage, as opposed to Ravagers being a little bit less damage, but potential with a corrosive pile. So I'm not sure how much I like this choice by HyuN, and I think that if Drogo gets to
that mass critical amount.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard. Now he's morphing a lurker then, and I don't know. even lurkers are thought to be not great against this type of unit composition. I personally like lurkers against this unit composition, but I was talking to State earlier, and he was saying how a lot of Korean protos really like this composition in particular against lurkers. Of course, the Zealots mess up with the AI, but Immortals are fantastic against lurkers. Archons are really good against lurkers, and yeah, without static defense or I guess he has the army composition that will tank the damage of the Zealots for long enough for the lurkers to do damage behind. The question is, can he get lurkers in time? I think that if Drogo attacks him anytime soon, HyuN's gonna be in a world of hurt, and if HyuN is the one to attack off creep, I think he's gonna get absolutely destroyed. But we're gonna have to find out. Good time warps there, and here the fight is about to break out. We'll see what happens.
Really good shots though. The Zealots actually
very
just, like,
good shots. They did indeed. And the Hydras are dealing a lot of damage actually. Drogo in the not doing as good as I thought, but still able to clear this off. And yeah, like I don't know, I felt like with the great Ravager shots that HyuN got, it was still not enough here. So yeah, I still have to question the addition of Hydras here, the Hydra range, the investment in Hydras. Seems like a little bit of an overextension by HyuN, but maybe he was thinking was gonna be facing something else. So we'll see what HyuN is or what Drogo's able to do here. Now he is very committed with his units out on the map, and actually catching 2 Immortals is gigantic for HyuN. So a fantastic job by him. That is such a big investment. Now Drogo did take the 4th of HyuN down and expanded behind it, so he doesn't need to do any more damage. If he just backs with his army, he'll be more than happy with his position here. But he chooses to engage, and I mean that's fine too. Those Immortals could have maybe gotten chased by the roaches, but it's always, you know, a little bit scary chasing Immortals with roaches.
I mean, 26 Lings just came into production. He's going for Ling Lurker.
Yeah, and again, like Immortals are really good against lurkers, so it's gonna be difficult for HyuN to make this work, especially with the production that now Drogo is gonna have of a 4 base and the economy that he will have. So we'll see what the King of Roaches is able to do here. Definitely in dire straits. Well played by HyuN so far. I would really like by Drogo to add maybe if not Disruptors, Storm. I think that some form of AoE other than the Archons would be fantastic this game. But all in all, again, he's in a great position.
Yeah, with +3 attack on the way, he's keep pumping out Archons and Immortals. Those will be able to tank the damage of lurkers, and HyuN's making roaches. Like, he made Lings, I think, for like trying to run the Lings into the main of Drogo. Oh, but this is...
Oh, the lurkers are gonna get caught.
But is there an observer?
There is an observer, yeah, it's right there. So what Drogo's gonna wanna do is just
a move.
I mean, he could have been more methodical and put the Immortals in first.
Yeah.
But no, I mean the Immortals are great.
Okay, yeah,
if you just send the Immortals against the lurkers before the rest of the army's in position, that's ideal. But yeah, he had way more.
Great A move.
Yeah, a fantastic A move there.